Welcome to the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and I'm so excited that you're here. The Plan B CRNA podcast is the only show made specifically for nurse anesthetists who are exploring options outside of their traditional career paths. This is the place to expand your mind and your goals as we uncover new ways to produce side income together. Journey with me as I go down various rabbit holes to explore the best Plan B options for you. This episode is brought to you by On-Call Capital. On-Call Capital is dedicated to educating CRNAs and other healthcare providers about investing outside of the traditional stock market. On-Call Capital also provides opportunities for you, yes, you, to create passive income and generational wealth while also lowering your taxable income through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, make sure you do that right now so that you don't miss an episode. Thanks so much for joining me today, and now, on with the show. Welcome to the Rabbit Hole on the Plan B CRNA podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Jones, and throughout my journey in finding a Plan B, I've gone down numerous rabbit holes to figure out which ones work for me. And since I've done some of this research already, I only think it's right to bring that information to fellow healthcare professionals to help aid in your search. As always, it's important for you, the listener, to do your own research and form your own opinions. Everyone's situation is unique, and a Plan B that works for one CRNA doesn't always work for another. Self-awareness is the key in any decision you make, since you must have an accurate grasp of your own strengths, weaknesses, and goals. Today's topic is one that I touched upon briefly in our rabbit hole episode on e-commerce. I told myself that I'd do a separate episode on it, and I thought there was no better time than the holidays to jump right into this retail opportunity. So I have my Santa hat on, and I'm ready to help you figure out whether this opportunity is naughty or nice. Our rabbit hole of the day is, dun, 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 drop shipping. So what is drop shipping? Broadly speaking, drop shipping is a type of retail fulfillment method for online stores, where instead of warehousing inventory, merchants purchase products from third-party suppliers as customers make orders. The products are then shipped directly to the consumer. That way, the seller never handles the product directly because the third-party supplier will ship the products on the merchant's behalf. Drop shipping can be great for entrepreneurs because they don't need as much operational capital to get up and going. There's no need for a brick-and-mortar store, hiring employees, or stocking products. Instead, you open an online storefront and buy wholesale from suppliers who already have the products and the warehouse space. If you'll remember, drop shipping is only one of many e-commerce business models that you can look into. If you want to learn a bit more about the others, you can go back and listen to episode 136 for a brief overview. But while it's only a piece of the pie when it comes to e-commerce, drop shipping is pretty large on its own. As of 2021, the global drop shipping industry accounted for $155.6 billion and is expected to reach $1.6 trillion, with a T, that's trillion, by 2031, with a compound annual growth rate of 27.1%. North America represents the largest share of the dropshipping market, holding more than 1/3 of that market share, and it's expected to dominate in terms of revenue over the next decade. A rise in smartphone adoption, combined with surges in consumer disposable income, has boosted the dropshipping market overall. During the pandemic, consumers turned to e-commerce for daily necessities. Dropshipping was adopted for buying medicines and other essential products online. While the electronics segment held the largest share in 2021, fashion is actually expected to dominate the market in terms of revenue, while the beauty, health, personal, and household care segment is expected to register the highest growth in the next decade. But how can you actually make money from a dropshipping business? While it takes some time to build a following, more on that later, it is absolutely reasonable to expect earnings between $1,000 to $10,000 per month on average. To get there, you'll need to set the right profit margins and establish a strong brand, though. So let's talk about how to get started in this business. First off, we need to consider the top places to set up your drop shipping site. There are many places to choose from, but there are three that just stand out above the rest. The first is Shopify, which has a wide array of free templates, product and inventory organization, and unlimited products and bandwidth. Shopify is arguably the leader in drop shipping. Next is BigCommerce, which has no transaction fees and a free abandoned cart saver. They allow you to sell on Amazon and eBay as well, and they also provide 24/7 support. And lastly, there's Oracle NetSuite, which has its own large array of templates, a seamless payment experience, real-time order and inventory, and direct shipments from the warehouse. There are two ways to get this going: the easy way or the hard way. The quote-unquote easy way is for those who don't actually want to start this from scratch. In that case, you can actually buy an existing business on an exchange website. You can visit sites like Flippa, which is the #1 online marketplace for buying and selling websites, including dropshipping stores, Ali Dropship, where you can buy established WooCommerce dropshipping stores, or Empire Flippers, to name a few. Of course, you'll need to fully understand why the business is being sold, as well as having a complete financial picture prior to submitting any letter of intent. In the show notes, I've included a link to a general overview of how you should approach buying an existing business, just to make sure you don't get hosed. But if you're willing to go the hard way and put in the time and energy, starting your own business can be a worthwhile endeavor. Here's how you do it. Number one, commit to starting your dropshipping business. You can't expect a 6-figure income after 6 weeks of work. You'll need to invest heavily with your time, learning how the business operates inside and out, intimately getting to know your customers or market, and developing new skills. You'll also need around $1,000 for minor operating expenses such as web hosting, dropshipping suppliers, and incorporation fees. Sure, most of you listening won't be able to commit full time to this, but it is possible to generate $1,000 to $2,000 as a monthly income stream within 12 months of working approximately 10 to 15 hours per week on building your business. If you can do it full time, then your income production will likely raise to something closer to $50,000 per year in that same time frame. However, once you actually get going, maintenance of the business will likely take much less time than that 40-hour per week job. Now, on to number two. Choose a dropshipping business idea. To help inspire you, Shopify curates a list of trending products based on the best-selling product categories on the platform. By focusing on more niche or trending products, you can more effectively get the attention of shoppers and gain traction without directly competing with larger, more established businesses. You'll want to conduct some research, and there are a few places to go first. First is Google Trends, where you can determine if a product is trending upward or downward, and the seasons in which they tend to trend. However, they don't show search volume, which means you should actually cross-reference your data with a keyword tool like Keywords Everywhere to determine a product's popularity in search. Another site is DSers, where you can search for products based on order volume to determine the potential of your idea. Number three, do competitive research. Now that you have an idea of what you want to sell in your store, you'll need to find your competitors and understand how they work. This could provide you with tips for your own success and help you build a stronger marketing plan. Competition isn't necessarily bad in dropshipping, so focus in on a few of them, including the couple of bigger players like Walmart, eBay, or Amazon. Learn everything you can about your top competitors, their websites, pricing, marketing methods, product descriptions, reputations, etc. Putting this info into a spreadsheet might be helpful if you decide to make your own move, because you can quickly reference it to see if your competitors are already doing that and the tactics they're using. There are a few ways to perform a competitor search. The first is obvious. Just use a Google search, starting with key search terms, headphones, for example. The top 10 results will show you the top competitors and how they are marketing. The next method is to use competitor spy tools like SimilarWeb and Alexa, which are great for finding and keeping track of your competitors' online activity. You'll get competitor website information like their social media profiles, top traffic sources, visitor numbers, and who their competitors are. Next, you can browse social media to find out how these businesses communicate with customers, how the feeds are designed, and how much engagement they get. Lastly, you can subscribe to competitors' email lists to get an inside look at their market strategies. On to number four. Choose a drop shipping supplier. This is a critical step because without suppliers, you won't have products to ship to customers. The thing I like about Shopify is that they have sort of a plug-and-play style option for finding potential suppliers by connecting DSers to your online store. DSers is an online marketplace that makes it easy to find products to sell online. Electronics, fashion, toys, and other trending items, You name it, and the app can help you find products from around the world with good profit potential and add them to your store with one click. The app also manages forwarding the customer orders to your dropshipping supplier, and it costs nothing to get started. Another thing to keep in mind here is that you want to sell products that provide e-packet shipping if your supplier is from China. E-packet is an affordable and fast option for shipping from China, which can take months to ship items to the US, the UK, and Canada. For only a few dollars, that item can now arrive in 2 weeks or less. Number 5, build your e-commerce store. Shopify makes it easy to build and launch your own website, from finding a domain name to adding marketing and sales plugins. Through their platform, you can sell in multiple countries and online, in multiple currencies, and easily manage products and accept payments. They have several how-to guides and a free 14-day trial, so you can test things out first. Number 6, decide on a business structure. Yes, you'll have to set up a legitimate business entity. This process is pretty straightforward, where you decide whether you're a sole proprietorship, which is the simplest form but offers no personal liability protection, an LLC, which offers increased liability protection, or a C corporation, which offers the most liability protection but tends to be much more expensive. You'll want to request your employer identification number, or EIN, from the IRS, and you'll probably need to file for a reseller certificate so that you can buy from suppliers without being subject to sales tax. Number 7, get those finances in order. To make sure you don't blend your business and personal finances, open up a business checking account and get yourself a business credit card to use for business expenses and dropshipping inventory purchases. Since you'll be buying a lot of merchandise, make sure you get cards that allow you to rack up serious rewards. Check out NerdWallet to find the cards that best fit your needs. You'll have to collect sales tax on a limited number of orders. Tax laws for online merchants are actually quite advantageous. For all orders placed by residents of other states, you won't need to collect sales tax, even if their state typically charges sales tax. However, if your own state collects sales tax and you sell to someone in your state, you'll have to collect sales tax from them. You'll have to contact your state's Department of Commerce to register as an online retailer and find out how frequently you need to submit those collected taxes. Depending upon your local laws and regulations, you may also need to get a business license that needs to be renewed on a regular basis as well. On to number 8, market your store. To stand out in your market, you'll need to put some effort into your marketing and advertising. There are several methods you can utilize, but not all of them may work for you. Keep an eye on which ones are working and which ones aren't, so that you can adjust to lower those costs and grow your business. Facebook ads cost about $1 per click, which isn't really too bad. They're scalable, products can perform well on them, and they tap into folks' desire to impulse buy. Google Shopping ads can work too if you target long-tail keywords where shoppers are more likely to buy, but there's generally more price competition there. If you have a more limited budget, you might want to consider influencer marketing. People tend to trust influencers more than traditional advertising, and you can negotiate an affiliate fee rather than a flat rate. This makes it an affordable way to reach your target audience. Content marketing is another way to go, particularly if you're looking for a long-term stream of traffic. Maybe you start a blog around your particular dropshipping niche to entertain and educate your target audience. You can also start a YouTube channel, create infographics, or start a podcast to get the word out. Hey, there's a thought. Another way to get the word out is to get involved with online communities. You can start conversations with potential customers on Reddit, Facebook groups, or other online forums. Be careful how you approach this, though, because many groups have strict guidelines for pitching your own products. Aim to help others and build relationships to create that trust with your audience first. And lastly, you can consider connecting with customers on their mobile phones. You can start a VIP text club where visitors can sign up for exclusive deals and promotions. You can provide live chat customer support through Messenger. ManyChat is a mobile marketing platform where you can create automated lead generation, customer retention, and cart abandonment campaigns to drive sales and revenue. Now, on to number 9, our last bit, analyzing and improving your offerings. After you've been at it for some time, you can start to look at those results that you're getting. Shopify Analytics can help you with information on your best-selling products, your best customers, conversion rates for desktop versus mobile, which products are the most profitable, and what your profits look like from month to month. The Google Analytics and Search Console can help you measure search traffic over time and improve your search engine optimization efforts. Your various marketing campaigns may also have monthly reports, so utilize them to figure out where you should put more ad dollars. Either way, you must remain consistent with what you analyze over time and measure your store's performance against key performance indicators in order to take it to the next level. And with that, it's time for my favorite part of the show, pros and cons. First, a pro. Easy setup. You don't need warehouse space or employees, and you don't have to worry about stocking or shipping. There are plenty of resources to help you get your store up and running. All in all, you can get this going pretty quickly. I mean, heck, you could start right now. Next is a con. Slim margins. Yes, dropshipping can be profitable, but you are a middleman taking a smaller cut than if you were doing everything yourself. Some niches have smaller profit margins than others, and some are super competitive. The average profit margin for dropshipping is 15 to 20%, but your margins will be lower if you're only focusing on low-cost products. Pro, scalability. Your business model doesn't need to drastically change in order to scale up. The more you grow, the more you have to put into marketing, which in turn helps you grow even more. Next is a con. Complications. If you're sourcing products from multiple suppliers, then you might have some challenges. Each of your suppliers may use a different shipping solution. Depending on that shipping setup, the cost can be prohibitive when shipping multiple products. Different suppliers will also have different ways of processing and billing, making it tricky to manage all of these interactions. Pro, flexibility. You can work from home with a laptop when it is most convenient for you. You can set your own pace, and you can easily list new products whenever you want. You can automate everything when you want a vacation. Next is a con, control. To put it simply, you don't have much control over product stocking, order fulfillment, or shipping. You have to rely on other people to do things right, meaning it can get interesting to manage when something does go wrong. Pro, simplicity. The consumer pays the dropshipper pays the manufacturer or distributor, and the manufacturer or distributor sends the product to the consumer. Essentially, the dropshipper is a marketer. Once you've found suppliers and set everything up, you're really only responsible for managing your online storefront and driving traffic to it. Con, customer service. When orders go wrong or suppliers fail, you take the blame when customers complain. You could do everything right and still have to deal with unhappy customers. It's just part of the business model. Pro, low startup costs. You shouldn't need to spend more than $1,000 for your dropshipping startup, and you could spend as little as $100, meaning that you're not putting much of your money at risk compared to other endeavors out there. And finally, a con, competition. Because there are such low barriers to entry, there is a lot of competition out there. We're talking millions of budding entrepreneurs here. Now, as always, I've put a ton of links in the show notes so that you can do some of this research on your own. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I found it interesting to learn more about dropshipping, and I just think it's fascinating. So on that note, I would say that the opportunity is certainly there if you're willing to put in the time. Now, aside from the Shopify website, I found some good information on the Blue Cart website that could help you out. There are also plenty of books out there to choose from, including a couple for newbies, like Dropshipping, The Ultimate Step-by-Step Guide for Beginners by Ronald Anderson. It's sort of like a dropshipping for dummies, and it can help you build your business plan with confidence. Dropshipping 101, How to Change Your Life by Starting Today, Your First Quick and Easy Online Business from Home by Frederic Gosset. He highlights many of the risks involved and beginner mistakes that can happen along the way. It's a great choice for entrepreneurs looking to get started on a smaller budget. Dropshipping and Shopify 2021 edition is the 4th edition of Robert Casey's wildly popular dropshipping guide. Whether you want this to be a primary source of income or a side gig, you'll learn how to maximize profit margins and minimize your effort. And that's going to do it for the show. As always, I'd like to thank you for listening to the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you found value today, make sure you hit subscribe and give us a 5-star review. The show only grows because of you, so make sure you share it with a friend, family member, or colleague to help them on their passive income journey. I also want to hear from you. If you have a question, comment, or rabbit hole topic that you'd like me to cover in an upcoming show, just put it in your review of the podcast. I check those all the time, and I cover those questions in future episodes. If you'd like to know more about me and gain access to passive investment opportunities, make sure to find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or visit my website at www.oncallinvestments.com. This is Bobby Jones signing off. Till next time, be safe and take care of each other out there. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Plan B CRNA podcast. If you haven't already subscribed and reviewed the show, I'd be honored if you took the extra time. It really helps to expand our reach and get the word out about the show. If you're a CRNA who is interested in sharing your story on our podcast, I'd love to have you. Please email me at bobby@oncallinvestments.com for more information. This episode was brought to you by OnCall Capital. They are dedicated to helping providers like you develop passive income and generational wealth through investments in the apartment and alternative investment spaces. Feel free to check out their website at www.oncallinvestments.com and subscribe to their free educational email series. You can find OnCall Capital on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page, where you'll find all of the show episodes along with other educational videos. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.